Dobrý den, dobré odpoledne, já vás všechny zdravím, vážení diváci. Vítejte na kanále Pod pokličkou. Dnes tedy, jak jsem již avizoval v příspěvku ráno, teď vám dám, je tun pre vás rozhovor na kanále Pod pokličkou s Larry Johnsonem. Opět na aktuální témata, respektive na vaše dotazy. Na všechny se nedostalo, omlouvám se, protože Larry mi po tom, co mi sdělil, že už to asi nevyjde mi, a co jsem já vám udělal to včerejší video s oznámením toho, že se rozhovor přesouvá až na dnešek, tak on mi po asi půl hodiny na to od uveřejnění mi napsal, jestli můžu ještě v noci našeho času v noci, takže bude mít čas, on o víkendech pak, že jede na víkend pryč, že o víkendu nebude mít čas. Takže jsem na to kývnul s radostí samozřejmě, ale uvidíte sami v tom rozhovoru, že je na něm vidět, že už je unavený, že už i jeho odpovědi jsou daleko stručnější, už to není takový ten Larry, který když máme rozhovor, nebo když dělá rozhovory po jiných kanálech, tak je tam prostě nějaká energie, odpovídá dlouho, vysvětluje ten problém prostě zdlouhavějc, tak jak já to mám i rád, radši dám 2-3 otázky za půl hodiny, na které ten mluvčí potom po 15 minutách odpovídá. Tentokrát to tak nebylo, takže ke konci už jsem opravdu ty otázky lovil z paty, protože mě došly všechny ty, co jsem měl vypsané a on mi neodpovídal tak, jak jsem chtěl. Na konci to uvidíte sami, odpovídá jedním slovem, 2 slovy, na což nejsem zvyklý, jo, já jsem u těch lidí zvyklý, že odpovídají dlouhými větami, prostě do detailů rozebírají. Evidentně už toho měl dost, čili možná lepší, kdyby to zrušil a nechali jsme to na příští týden. Nicméně rozhovor je tady, čili jsou tun pre vás, kanál Pod pokličkou a Larry Johnson na vaše dotazy a na dotazy všeobecné. Čili tady jsou 3, 2, 1, štil jsou tun pre vás. Good
How are you?
evening. Good evening
Yep.
to Florida.
Well, thanks for staying up. Nice shirt. I'm glad to see you're joining the shirt crowd.
A very nice shirt, by the way, on you tonight. I haven't seen you in this shirt before.
It was a gift from one of my readers. He just been to Bali, so it's from Bali. Bali High.
That's good. Really looking great. That's it's good colors, good combination. Everything's great. How have you been, Mr. Johnson?
You know the old saying about the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I've been busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can only imagine, because to catch you guys to have like a few seconds to respond to my messages, that's always one has to be patient, right? So I think to our audience, Mr. Larry Johnson doesn't need no introduction whatsoever. Famous celebrity around the world.
I wouldn't go that far.
At least regarding the field of true the information regarding the world news and happenings around the world. So tonight I have a collection of questions for you from our Czechoslovakian viewers. So I would start with that. Everybody is saying hello to you, to your family from Czech and Slovak republics, all our viewers, and let's get right down to it. First question from Miss or Mrs. Ludmila is, I wonder if the Arab countries will finally join forces with Iran to drive those damned US forces out of their bases in the Middle East and put Israel in its place. Is there any chance in the near future for peaceful resolution of this, of this war, of this resolution, of this situation? Best regards and thank you for your reply.
Well, Ludmila, that's actually, there's two questions there. As far as a peaceful resolution, no, I don't think so. There should be. But the insanity in Washington, D.C., I think makes it impossible. As far as getting the Arabs to drive out the United States, well, by the time the Arabs get there, it's going to be too late, because effectively what Iran has been doing over the course of the last week is relentlessly bombing bases that have been used by the United States and making it impossible for U.S. to continue to have its forces there. And this is made possible by China, actually. The Beidou, or the Beidou system, which is a global, it's like GPS. Yeah. It allows the satellites to locate precisely on Earth. And so it's used as targeting. And in this case, it is plugged into the missiles, the ballistic missiles and drones that are launched by Iran at targets in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Jordan. Last year, in June of 2025, the Iranians were still using GPS. And it turns out the United States had penetrated. They controlled GPS, so they could actually spoof the Russian systems. So if the Russians launched a missile thinking it was going to hit, like the airfield at Nevatim, it would actually, the U.S. would insert other GPS coordinates so the missile wouldn't hit where it was supposed to. Iran figured that out, has got with the Chinese and has adopted the Chinese system. Chinese system's completely independent, cannot be hacked by the American side, and is highly, even more accurate than GPS. As a result, the Iranians have been enjoying more and more success. With that success, they've effectively driven the United States out of Bahrain, out of Kuwait, out of Qatar, and they're moving them out of the UAE. The last real focus will be on the two air bases in Jordan, the Muwafiq al-Salti Air Base and the Prince Hassan Air Base. Once the United States is out of those, the ability of the United States to continue the war is going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, you're right. Exactamente. It's not easy situation. Many greetings to you, to your family, wishing you good health. And there's viewers saying that we, with non-brainwashed brains, we are searching for truth in your information as well during your interviews. And so saying hello to you from all the viewers here. And then another question about this war and the Persian Gulf situation. What does Larry C. Johnson say about Turkey's sale of Russian S-400 systems to countries such as Qatar and the United Arab Emirates? If it's even true, I don't know. After all, this is directed against Russia itself and also against Iran. Thank you very much.
Well, it would be a suicide mission by Turkey, or Turkiya, depending on who wants to pronounce it in the most up-to-date fashion. I was being interviewed by a Turkish professor the other day, and he agreed with me. I told him, are you guys crazy?
Yeah.
You want to buy the F-35? I said, it makes a good headline. Turkey buys a turkey. So I don't know if it is easily translated into Czechoslovak.
Yeah. I will think of something. Yeah.
Yeah, but in English, the term to call something a turkey, it's not a compliment. Saying it's basically ungainly. It's it's an ugly bird.
Exactly.
So the F-35 is, according to a recent report by the Secretary of the Air Force in the United States, said that they only have 25% combat readiness. That means if you got 10 of these planes, only about 2 to 3 of them are going to be available to fly in combat operations at any given time. That's terrible. And yet, for $100 million, you'd think you'd get something a little bit better. And so I just said, if Turkey does this, man, baby, you deserve what you get, because you've bought a turkey. Whereas alternatively, you might have to separate yourself from NATO, but if you buy a 5th generation Russian fighter or 5th generation Chinese fighter, one, it's not going to cost you as much. It could be half the price. 2, it'll be easier to maintain. And 3, it's going to be a hell of a lot more reliable. So if Turkey goes through with this and they get rid of the S-400, it's like, are you kidding? That's the only actually air defense system in the world that's working. So you're gonna buy a plane that doesn't work and get rid of a system that works. Yeah, that makes sense. And if Erdogan does that, I think that'd be further sign that Erdogan has, lost his reasoning powers.
It looks like comparing to our Czech government, I don't know about Slovakian one, but there is always corruption behind these deals. So whoever gives more bribes gets the deal. So that's with the F-35s coming to Czech Republic in next 20 years, maybe. We also, our previous government signed a big deal. Maybe you know about this, for F-35s. Mm-hmm. 35s. And it's the same with the Turkey. We also are buying turkeys, and we may never see any aircraft. We're paying for it, but we may never see one in the next 20 years. So it's like lots of corruption. But anyway, let's move on with questions. We have here, so that was another question from Jana. I wonder if Lindsey Graham's death has any impact on events in Central Europe. It's possible that other politicians might abandon the idea of making our countries a battleground, a battlefield for a war between Russia and NATO. Thank you very much, and I wish everyone a nice day. Meaning that, was that just a sudden death, or was it a signal sent by the people in power by, with this Lindsey Graham passing all of a sudden?
Yeah, I could understand. A lot of us hope that it was actually a message sent, but I think once we've got additional details. Initially, I was very suspicious of it myself, because I assumed that he had departed Kyiv on the morning of Saturday, a week ago Saturday, in the morning, like a 7 a.m., 8 a.m. train. And if he did that, he would not have returned to the United States in time to die at his home at 8:30. But reportedly, he left the night before, and that's beginning to make sense that since Russia issued the warning to U.S. diplomats and foreigners, stay out of Kyiv or else we're not responsible for what's going to happen to you, I think they've got a new policy established that even someone like Lindsey Graham, if you go there for the day, get out before the night. Yeah. So I think the ruptured aortic artery, that would explain that kind of sudden death by him. So what it does mean, though, is you don't have somebody with his influence anymore out making the case that we need to continue and expand the war against Russia and drag the rest of Europe into it.
Yeah. We can only hope that there was a message sent to all the warmongers that the longer you continue, the sooner you may disappear as well.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's called karma.
Yeah, the karma is for free.
Yes.
So let's move on to another question from another viewer. Never ever trust the US. The US will not honor any agreements unless it is in their interest, of course, only and exclusively in their interest. So what we all know about it already before, but was there in a history any agreement the US would really go for and move forward and fulfill and not to try or make moves around it.
Well, yeah. Look, I'd actually disagree with the questioner on one issue. It's not just the United States also will break agreements that are in its interest. You can make the case that continuing with the anti-ballistic missile treaty was in the U.S. interest. It would keep Russia from developing the terrific systems that Russia has developed. Instead, against its own interest, George W. Bush walked away from it. Yeah. So, I know. I agree with the questioner. U.S. is not to be trusted. I was just on Pepe and Escobar, and I were just doing transition protocol, and I make the point that when will Russia, China, and Iran learn that there is not a single damn agreement the United States can make with them that will be trusted, that's not going to turn into a disaster? The United States just doesn't keep its agreements. It doesn't honor them. Just realize that up front, so so you're not going to be surprised.
And since they've done it already throughout the history, what's the surprise? So that shouldn't surprise anybody. And I'm pretty sure that people in Kremlin, in the intel services, they already know about this. But there could be some naive politicians still trusting in whatever it's whenever comes out currently out of Donald Trump's mouth, for example. Yeah. And so that was another question then. Why is Russia still trusting United States and their politicians? Well, you answered that already.
Yeah, I think Lavrov, he's made it clear they don't.
They don't actually. Yeah.
They don't now.
Yeah. So that would be all for the questions from our viewers. And then one of the questions that I prepared for you would it's still circling around the Persian Gulf situation. Then United States has carried out major strikes on Iran for 6 nights in a row. Is it killing at least 8 people, they say, and wounding like 20? Is it still like a hot war going on all the time, non-stop, or is it just the news have nothing to do, so they put out these messages?
No. The United States is it's gone back to war with Iran, and Donald Trump sent that message to Congress. He said, we're now at war. It is. The good news is the United States doesn't have the level of military assets in country to be able to carry it out at the same level that it did on February 28th. Back then, U.S. was launching 300 missions a day. Now it's down. It's a third of that, less than a third. So that's the good news. The bad news for the United States, though, is Iran is retaliating immediately and comprehensively and hitting targets. They don't have to worry about hitting 20, 30, 40 different targets. They just have to focus on 9 or 10. And they keep hitting those same 9 and 10 targets. U.S. is going to be is being forced out of the Gulf.
Yeah, that's true. They've been hitting all the U.S. bases again, just like in February. I think the Iranian armed forces, and we haven't heard. You have any news on the U.S. aircraft carriers? We haven't heard of them since for the last 2 months. I haven't heard a word.
Well, yeah, most of these airstrikes that have been taking place inside Iran or on the coasts of Iran have been carried out from those aircraft, from the aircraft on those aircraft carriers.
Yeah, so they are still there.
Yes.
We haven't heard of them from the news, from the media.
The aircraft will fly up to the edge, to the Iranian coast, and then they fire their cruise missiles or the different missiles that they're using. They fire them from there and then peel off and head back to the aircraft carrier. They're overflying Iranian territory.
Yeah. So that's and as before, they are maybe they are just moving around in the Sea of Oman or somewhere just further away from Iranian missiles.
That's correct. They're staying at least 200 miles offshore.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Yes.
Of course. And then the other question is regarding this Israeli attack on Gaza. Hamas has condemned an Israeli attack on a funeral in Gaza's Nuseirat refugee camp, which killed at least 7 mourners today, or was it yesterday, and wounded another 22, according to sources at Al-Auda hospital. So what is the situation from your point of view, from your sources now with this, with Gaza and with Israel attacking the southern Lebanon and stuff? Is there any hope for peaceful settlement in the near future? What do you think?
Not in the near future. Unfortunately, the horror of what Israel is doing is going to continue until such time as Iran's able to enforce the peace, the force Israel out by putting pressure on the United States.
Yeah. So that's not going to end anytime soon. Looks like.
Correct.
And then there is another report that the skies above Gaza are filled with drones. So it looks like another drone warfare outside of Ukraine. You think it's that they're testing another type of fighting, like with a drone war?
Yeah. They can use drones without having to risk soldiers, and the drones can do the killing. Yeah, it's more part of Israel's continuing campaign of genocide.
Yeah. So, does Hamas have any drones to fight back with the Israeli army with such technology?
They have. I think they have a few, but I don't think they have many. I don't think that really has entered the arsenal for them yet. It'd be good if they could. It would even the ground a little bit. That's more the realm of Hezbollah. Hezbollah has the drones.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the drone warfare, do you have any update information or up-to-date from the Ukrainian front? If there's anything, I've listened to Stan Krapivnik talking about this like 2-3 days ago with one of his guests, and what would be your information on that situation? Ukrainian drones attacking Russian territory, then the Russian retaliation, and is there any? What is the current status, if you have any info on that?
Yeah, what's happened over the course of the last 2 weeks is Russia has intensified its combat strikes on Kyiv, on key industrial manufacturing facilities and warehouses, storage units, and government headquarters throughout the city. And at the same time, it's now stepped up its attacks in Odessa. Previously, Odessa was allowed, trade could go in and out, ships could go in and out. Russia's now shutting that down. It's bombing ships that are coming and going. It's destroying port facilities. I think they're going to render Odessa inoperative within the next few weeks.
Yeah. Well, it looks like this war is never ending. It's just we all hoped last year and 2 years ago that it'll be quick. We are fast over, and now it's just looks like it's stepped up a level.
Right.
Instead of coming to an end, it's coming to an open warfare all of a sudden. I still wonder where the Ukrainians are getting still all the resources.
Yeah. No, it's the war in Ukraine is actually, I think, going to wind down quicker than many anticipate, because the Russian forces have built up and they're doing a full press across the entire front, and Ukraine simply doesn't have the strength to withstand it.
Yeah. So and another question just arrived. What do you think? Well, of that. It happened a few days ago, maybe a week ago, that unbelievable theater play at the NATO convention, the summit of NATO countries, or as we call it, a big theater for the public, but behind the closed doors, there were some serious deals, I think, made for the weapon manufacturers only. How do you view that stuff? Is there any hope for, because there is no hope for peace when the weapon manufacturers are making more deals with Western European governments?
Right. Yeah. No, it was a failure. Nothing of substance was accomplished, and they didn't have broad-based agreement to continue to support Ukraine at any cost. So, and while Zelensky was there and got some attention, he still didn't get invited to sit at the big table, and they're not going to bring Ukraine into NATO. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it's we still hope that even though that our government was talking about not getting involved anymore, but they of course they joined that summit, and it looks like they will be involved with this anti-Russian process of like supporting the weapons manufacturers and supplying Ukraine with whatever. We all think that all the money goes to Ukrainian mafia, and nothing goes to the soldiers. So
correct.
It only just feeds the rich and buries the poor. That's how we see it. But
I think the biggest thing to focus on is going to affect the Czech and Slovak peoples. The rise in price of diesel and the rise in price of aviation fuel. There's a global shortage. That shortage is not going to get better anytime soon. And so that's going to cause a tremendous economic hardship across the board.
Yeah, that is true, actually. You're right. There was this sudden drop of prices like a week ago, 10 days ago. And now for the last 4 or 5 days, the prices are climbing up again.
Yep.
To what it was 2 months ago, I guess. And it looks like all of it. This is connected to all of a sudden all these news from Russia, from there being fuel shortages everywhere, and refineries are burning on fire. And then Stanislav comes on the air and says, "No, there is a different story behind that." So, what would you say on this? We call this fake news, this fuel shortages in Russia. Is that even possible?
There are fuel shortages, but those are common in the summer anyway. But the question is, are these fuel shortages going to cause a collapse of the government? No. Is it going to cause a popular uprising to overthrow the government? No. It's just a Western distraction. That's all it is.
Yeah. So it says like that Ukraine has just struck 20 Russian vessels, like these oil tankers. Is that even possible?
No. I mean, that's an exaggeration. But it's just it's part of their propaganda.
Yeah. That's what we thought so, because they could strike maybe 2, but 20, that's they always make it. We view the news from the Ukrainian side as that's the other ways around always.
Right.
They say Ukrainians did this and that, and it's the opposite way. So I guess that's what it is. Maybe Russians hit 20 Ukrainian vessels, should they have any left.
Right.
Maybe that's the truth. And so how do you view, or what is since you're still involved with this intel community, you have your sources of information, how do you predict now since that NATO summit, is there any hope for Western Europe not to get really bombed or involved in the hot war between US and Russia, or what should it be?
It's up to Europe. U.S. isn't going to decide that. It's the European countries, particularly the UK and Germany, that have been the most vocal, threatening war. It's up to all the people of Romania, of Czech Republic, of the Slovak Republic to stand up and say, "Hell no, we're not going to war." You folks have it. You guys got control over that, not us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly as you say. It's not. It looks like now because it used to be before, let's say a year ago, 2 years, even 10 years ago, that there will be a war between United States and Russia on the European soil. Now we're coming so close, but it looks like the U.S. is backing away, thanks to Donald Trump maybe and his administration. But these European puppets, this von der Leyen and all these, I don't know, actors, they don't rule anything. They are just acting whatever they have to. But looks like they're just listening. They're in the hands of the weapon manufacturers, and I think it's all theater that we are just as of spectators watching from our seats.
It's theater until they provoke an incident that leads to retaliation and the deaths of some citizens.
Yeah, so that's well, we can only hope that there will be no rockets, no Oreshniks, and no Kinjals flying over our heads anytime soon, because that would be well. And do you have any news on that? Let's say Donald Trump used to say that he's going to take like Greenland from Denmark and stuff like that. Is it still going on, or?
It depends on the day of the week. So he brought it up at the NATO summit, hasn't revisited it since. So who knows? He may bring it up next week. If he's losing in Iran, he may want it as a distraction to say, "Hey, look over here. We got a winner here in Greenland."
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, and how is? That's my question now. How is the weather in Florida right now? Because I feel we have the same thing right outside our windows nowadays.
Yeah, it's about 40 degrees Celsius. So it's it's summer. It's summer. It's hot. It's supposed to be hot. Yeah. So I don't worry about that. I was just checking the. Let's see here. Put it in Celsius. Oh, actually, it's only 28 degrees Celsius. Yeah. So not bad. It's actually it's hotter. It's hotter in Washington D.C. right now than it is in Florida.
Interesting. Interesting, because we have these 40 Celsius degrees temperatures over here as well. But you have the humidity there, right, from the sea. So it could be like in sauna.
Yes.
So let's maybe one more question, because this time we are going just maybe too fast through all the. How would you summarize these events of? Are you having any holiday coming up, for example?
No holidays.
Yeah.
The next holiday will be the end of August, 1st of September, Labor Day.
Yeah, that's true, because I noticed that Judge Napolitano is on the holiday, I guess.
Well, yeah, he's on vacation. Yeah,
he's on a vacation, and haven't heard from Scott Ritter for like 2 weeks.
Scott is back.
He's back. Yeah. So maybe one last question here. Do you see any positive progress towards like peaceful settlement in this Middle East crisis, or in this Middle East and Persian Gulf war? Or
no, nothing on the horizon. I think it's going to escalate until the United States is forced to capitulate.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be the combination of economic conditions and shortage of weapons that'll force the United States to end the war.
Mm-hmm. Could there be some plan for this? You think the the people who plan the stuff above Donald Trump and these politicians, do you think they might have a plan to continue with this until they reach a goal of whatever, reformatting, I don't know, economies, or even the Middle East?
They won't have the weapons to continue. That's the point. They're running out. The weapons are being depleted. they will not have enough to continue. They can't continue this for a period beyond maybe a couple of months.
Yeah. From both sides, even from the United States, Iran, you think that both sides will be depleted? Well,
not both sides. I said the United States.
The United States only, yeah. Because we've been hearing about this for a while, but that is, I guess that's true. So we can only hope that it will end when they run out of supplies. That's
yes. That would be the good news.
Hopefully soon. I don't know what these people are thinking, but but there looks like there is something behind. There are some decisions being made behind the curtain, behind the closed door, that we may never get to be informed about. If you agree, or what would be your opinion on that? That is not just Donald Trump who's doing the moves, but I think there are somebody else behind it.
Well, no, he's making the decisions. I mean, he's getting the voices that are tied to the Zionists that are pushing for this, but he's the one making the decisions.
Yeah. Well, he's in the position of the executioner. Well, Larry, I think we just ran out of questions. So I would thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your precious time today. I wish you a nice evening and pleasant weekend. And we're looking forward to see you next time or anytime soon, maybe perhaps before you go on a holiday.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Miroslav. Thank you so much. I appreciate the questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll ask people to put together more questions for next time so we can discuss further issues. But and then hopefully, let's hope that all these wars and all this situation gets better, so we have more positive things to talk about next time.
Certainly, sounds great. Thanks so much.
Hopefully, thank you very much for your time. Have a nice weekend, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Tak přátelé, to byl Larry Johnson. Bylo vidět na něm, že je hodně unavený, že jeho odpovědi byly velice strohé oproti předchozím pořadům. Čekal jsem, že se u každé té otázky trošku víc rozpovídá, tak jako se rozpovídával vždycky, když tu nejenom s námi, samozřejmě i na těch ostatních kanálech. Takže ty odpovědi byly, já doufám, že pro vás naprosto v pohodě. Za mě mohly být trošku delší, přece jenom očekával jsem, že bude déle hovořit, snažil jsem se ho rozkecat na ty témata i vlastními dotazy, ale vypadá to, že dnes toho už má opravdu hodně a bude to asi i tím, že taky těch rozhovorů má za sebou více. Většinou, když mluvil s náma, tak měl některé rozhovory a některé interview, některé ty vystoupení teprve před sebou. Takže už toho dneska asi měl dost. Nicméně, přátelé, já se s vámi taky rozloučím. Budu se těšit na další setkání 3.2. Před námi je rozhovor v neděli odpoledne s panem Zbyňkem Prouskem. Bude to opět na vaše dotazy, které on si už připravuje z těch vašich komentářů, případně doplňte další dotazy, co vás napadne na pana Zbyňka Prouska. Budeme mít spolu teda druhé setkání tuto neděli, což bude, dneska je 19, 19, neděli 19. Já vás tímto všechny zdravím, přeju vám příjemný večer a budu se s vámi těšit opět na viděnou. Rozhovor bude přeložený do češtiny hned zítra. Přeji krásný večer a buďte dobří. Zdravím celé Československo, mějte se krásně.